Hey, what's going on? All right, so you're in January. You set some goals, maybe set some okay goals. Maybe you haven't even set goals. You're just tired of resolutions. You're tired of the year. You're tired of last year. You're thinking 2021 is going to be the same thing. And I hope that's not the case. And I'll tell you what, if you got it all set up, if your goals are awesome and you're on track, this message isn't probably for you. But if you want to know how to set radical, truly radical type goals, I want to share with you a little story, take you behind the scenes of a story that I heard for the past really 10 years, although it's more like a 15-year journey of talking about radical goals, radical. And I'm standing here, one of my favorite places that I got to see it be from a vision of over 15 years in the making. And I'm going to walk you through right here. I'm at one of the most radical places on earth. It's really a beautiful place, Costa Rica, and the beautiful mountains you can kind of see. All right, there you are. I might lose you again, but let's just see if it goes here. Look, one of the most radical places. I don't know if you've been to Costa Rica before. I've been probably a good dozen times over the last 10 years. And I'm going to walk you through something it was a bit emotional for me because I've seen radical transformation from a vision that a surfer dude had a while back when he was in his maybe teens and 20s. And pretty crazy. I'm going to share with you part of my vision. And also, check this out. I just want to share with you, I'm standing outside of what is Iglesia Radical. In fact, I actually welcome you to go check out that church. They do services that are online. So even if now they are in Spanish, just so you know. But I said they do services you see at 10 a.m. Sunday. We're going to be here tomorrow for service, which is great. And I want to share with you behind, if you see there's bars, right? Bars. Check out behind the bars though. Is that beautiful? That's a vision that's coming soon. And I want to share with you that right there is the grounds. We're going to take a walk. So come take a walk with me. Pretty amazing. Hey, so it's sweaty, so I'm going to wipe the sweat off. I got a towel. And I remember coming here for the first time. And when my close friend Dave, I'm here with him. I want to share with you about radical goals from a place called Radical Church. And as I walked through here just a little while ago. And it was pretty awesome because this used to be just property. Just a vision, a sizable vision from one dude and actually a few people and his family to make some radical, just kind of follow God's path for their life. And I want to just share this with you right now. Check this out. So this is just the grounds. And hey, I'm going to tag some of you. I know you guys have done some work in here. You put your hands on some of the stuff. Look at how beautiful. So beautiful, so welcoming. Look at those beautiful trees. I think those are date palms. I can't remember what kind of palms they are. But I want to just share with you about making radical goals. Let's talk about that for a moment. Hey, if you've ever been to Costa Rica, just drop it down below. Let me know if you've been here before. You know how beautiful the country is. And I just want to share with you. Kind of come with me for a walk for a minute. We're going to walk around here and check out the church. And it's pretty neat place. So check this out. Let me know down below too. You can post it down below. Just put in the chat if you've been to Costa Rica before. Maybe you've even been to Jaco, which is pretty cool. So those are the grounds. There's a kitchen over there, right over there. And then this is where the classrooms are. And then check that out. This is the church. Now, mind you, when I first came here, it was just property. It was just a ground. Check this out. This is an area for the kids. To do sports and skateboarding and basketball. Pretty awesome, right? Check this out. Little bike area, you ride your bikes. A lot of people bike here, scooters, all that stuff. I'm gonna just take a walk with me. We're gonna check this place out. My friend's in doing his meet. He hasn't been here since COVID and lockdown. It's been a while, but I'm just gonna be quiet. He's in a meeting. Shh. Right here, check this out. Pretty awesome, right? So check this out. Come with me. Come with me for a minute. We're going to talk about this. We're just going to come out here. All right, here we go. Hang with me, because I'm going to get to the spot where I heard this vision of goals, and we're going to talk about radical goals. Being radical, hear the roosters? Pretty awesome. So here we go. So I remember it was about maybe, I think it was 7, 8 years ago. And I'm going to just turn this around. Here's the back of the property. And even more vision coming. There's a wood shop that's right there. A relatively new wood shop. This is going to be, you guys are going to see this because I will be back here. Check this out. Right here is the next phase. So you want to know what's going to go here? How about radical vision? That's going to be a Bible school behind me. Check this out right here. See this? So right there's a church and the grounds, and there's offices and so forth. And then right here is going to be a Bible school. That's right, a Bible school. Now, mind you, let me just tell you, let's see if we can talk better, talk louder, the roosters or me. So check this out. My first trip, it was radical for me. My first trip was here with a group of guys, really newly in my, I say, faith journey, where I really started to develop a relationship with God and understand this whole relationship through Jesus. And I took a trip. I went on what was called, mission trip, short-term missions. And I went with some guys, and we got to meet this pastor. Now, he's in there doing a meeting, so I'll probably have him come on at some point. And God had a vision for him as well, a long time before that. And it was to start ministry, to start ministering to men and women here who are broken just like men and women everywhere in the world. And we're all broken, right? In the States, out of the States, all around. And he had this vision, and it was radical, right? It was very radical because he didn't know how it was going to happen. In fact, I remember when he stood out here after a year or two, when I've come, and he said, well, there's this property that we'd like to build a church on. We'd like to share the gospel and help people who are in need, help them speak the good news of Jesus. And I don't know how we're going to get this property. I don't know how it's going to turn into a church. I don't know how it's going to all happen, but I'll tell you what, he made 2 radical decisions. And I think one of them, and I'm not going to speak for him, but I do know, because I know him real well, is that his first radical decision was to just follow God's path for his life. That was the first thing. He was, following what is a bit radical, right, is his vision. And then saying, okay, I'm doing it. I'm going to go. I don't know how it's going to happen. And I want to ask you this question, and this is what I want to get to in this, as I'm here. And I'll tell you what, on a side note, just so you know, if you're looking somewhere to get plugged in and you want to be a part of something bigger, reach out to me. I was talking to Dave. I was like, I got a lot of people that, in and around this world, and they may want to be a part of this vision, if you will. And that might not be for you. But let's just talk about radical goals, setting radical goals. If you're setting goals and maybe they're just, hey, I want to lose some 10 pounds, I want to, stop eating sugar, you're probably not setting big enough goals. And here's how you know if you're setting radical goals. We're just going to get right to it right now. How do you know when you're setting radical goals? Is that they scare the life out of you. And I can tell you, I know for a fact that this is very scary. This is a huge piece of property, huge, in the heart of Costa Rica, like in the heart of Jaco. One of the craziest, it's one of the most expensive, one of the craziest, one of, unfortunately, the darkest, the most beautiful, but at the same time, the most dangerous, the most luxurious, and at the same time, the poorest. It's crazy. And I could tell you more about that, but here's radical. Let's talk about radical. Is your goals that you're setting for yourself. And they could be related to you. They could be related to a bigger vision. Maybe you have a vision in ministry. Maybe you have a radical vision in your life for something greater. And I hope you do. I hope it's beyond just lose a few pounds and, man, I want to work out and get my body so I can fit in my clothes. That's cool. Those are all great goals. In fact, that's what I do. I help people with that. But I want to ask you this. Are your goals scaring you enough? I hope they do. Or are you just letting the world scare you with everything else going on in it? Are you being just taken down that road of, well, we should live in fear. We should be afraid of our own shadow. We should be afraid to go out. We should be afraid to handshake somebody. We should be afraid to, you know, to not even look at anybody if they have if they don't have a mask on, or if they, you know, God forbid. Oh my goodness. You're like, I'm just telling you right now, maybe it's time to focus on some really big radical goals rather than letting the stress be radical in your life. And I just want to ask you, have you set radical goals? I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear what they are. Hey, I see people on here watching, which is great. And yes, this is a beautiful, you hear the rooster. Well, not my backyard. I'm in the back of, actually right back there is the beach. You can see where there's a condo built up there, big condo. And the beach isn't too far away, and it is a beautiful place. And I'll tell you what, one of the most inspiring people that I've ever met in my life. He's in there right now doing a meeting with his worship team. And I'll tell you what, you want to talk about radical? He had to get up and move. He had to get out of the country, and COVID hit, lockdown. Him and his family came back to Florida. And everything got put on hold. Everything got put on hold. And you know what? You think it was easy for him? No. It was probably pretty radical, right? I would say maybe 2020 was a radical year for you, and not in a good way. But why don't you reframe that? Maybe you could reframe it this year, and you could set some radically awesome goals. What's stopping you from setting some radical health goals to get your body and your health and your life? And maybe on a spiritual level, maybe you got to get radical with your spirit, the Holy Spirit. Maybe you have this idea and know who God is, and maybe you've drifted away. Maybe you've like, God, you've let me down. You know, you let me down. I feel like you've left me. And you know what? Just gonna reassure you, he hasn't left you. He's there. He's there. Like these roosters are probably here all day. You hear them? They're probably mad at me right now. What are you doing back here? What are you doing in our backyard? So I want to ask you this for setting radical goals. What's stopping you from setting a radical goal? Like, why haven't you? You're like, Mark, oh, well, I just got a lot going on. I'm just busy. I don't know how to do it. I don't know what to do. I got some goals, but I don't even know how I'm going to get there. No, it would be easy. It must be easy for you. You just, you can travel out of the country. No, it wasn't. I left my family for 10 days. They think that was an easy task to do? No. But I'll tell you what I would hate to do is to go through the rest of my life having mediocre goals, having mediocre plans, having mediocre, mediocre motivation, mediocre, like, encouragement, just like, maybe I'll do it now. Nah, that's okay. Now I'm probably not going to achieve my goal this year. Like, that's not what I want. I don't know if that's what you want. If you're listening to this and you're like, yeah, I'm doing okay. Things are okay. Things are pretty good. And, life is okay, cool. This message probably isn't for you. But I would say is if you've been stuck in a rut, if you've been sitting around, if January is feeling like last January, so to speak, right? You still have the 40 pounds on. You still haven't started exercising. You say you want to start eating healthier and start moving more and start taking better care. This is going to be your year, right? You want to stop being maybe so stressed out, or you want to improve the relationship you have with food. And I'm speaking now in the health standpoint. And you're like, yeah, well, I'll just put that app on my phone, and I'll just use one of those. I'm just going to join the gym again, $30 a month, no big deal. No plan, no structure, no accountability. Like, well, and it's got to start with actually having a goal. And maybe the first thing you need to do is set a radical goal. Like, okay, Mark, I need 50 pounds. Is that a radical goal? No. Why do you want to lose 50 pounds? Maybe you have a goal of hiking. Maybe you've never actually hiked more than maybe from here to your driveway. Maybe you want to go on a hiking trip, or maybe you want to go kayaking for the very first time. Maybe you want to run your very first marathon. Maybe you just want to go for a bike ride with your children. Maybe there's things in your life. Maybe you want to go to Costa Rica and surf some big waves, right? Why not make some radical goals? The last thing you'd want to do is to live your whole life and never taking a chance, never trying it. Like, what happens if you fail? Of course. Well, there's no failing if you just don't have any goals set up for yourself. Can you imagine just like going through the rest of your life and let's say two things. If you go the rest of your life and you don't fail, like, I'm expecting to fail. I know Dave and I have talked about failing and stuff over the years. I think that's what makes you become a better person. You become better when you're able to work through some of the struggles, some of the challenges. Can I get an amen? Like, some of the biggest challenges were twofold, because I set some pretty radical goals and I failed pretty radically in the same time. So I want to ask you this. Like, if you never failed radically, maybe you're not setting radical enough goals. Does that make sense? I hope it does. And listen, there's going to be more from me coming from Costa Rica. And I'll tell you what, I'm encouraged right now. What's really crazy, let me show you this right now. This church, one of the things that's kind of crazy is my hands were down in there. And I know a number of others. We've come and done some short-term work. But I remember where it was dirt, where there was no church. I remember where this was it all looked actually not even cleaned off like that. It looked more like that in the back. But check this out. How radical is this? And to think this is all for the kingdom, for God, and all for his people. This is pretty amazing. Let's finish it up here with this last little picture of the church. Pretty awesome. Truly, truly inspired. Yeah, I wanted to share this with you. Here. Pretty awesome stuff. Check this out. Look at this. So like I remember those people with, see these wood doors? Isn't that beautiful? These are all this is all handmade. This, by the way, is not fake. This is all real. All the iron, check this out. You want to talk about craftsmanship? See all the iron on there? See all that? That was all hand done. It wasn't Home Depot, buy some metal. Check this out. Check this out, all of that. Check this out. Check that out, pretty cool. Hey, you guys are on the family mission trip with me. I can't remember the year. Do you remember the plants we planted? You remember the palm trees we planted back there? See those big ones? How about that? You remember? I'm gonna tag you guys in it. Do you remember planting? And I know a couple of you that helped. We actually put some of the concrete and dug. This used to be dirt here. Well, we didn't do any of the actually like the finish work stuff. You remember some of that? It's pretty crazy. That's pretty cool too. Check that out. I'm gonna do some workout video things in there to come. Pretty awesome stuff, right? Pretty amazing. Pretty crazy to think. Pretty awesome. Radical. So maybe 2021, if you're looking for a word for 2021, maybe it's radical. Maybe it's time to get radical with your life in a good way. Not radical on taking terrible care. Don't be radically reckless with your health. Don't be radically reckless with laziness. Come on. Are you inspired right now? I hope you are. I'm inspired. Anyway, that's it. I gotta wipe the sweat. I think I burned 400 calories from the sweat. It's pretty hot out here. Take care. God bless. Love you.